Sorry for the technical delay. First item under our regular meeting is setting the agenda. Any additions or corrections?
We do not have any additions or corrections.
I'll entertain a motion to accept the agenda.
So moved.
Second. Motion is second. Any questions? All in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Audience participation. Are there members of the audience that would like to discuss any agenda items this evening? We'll have another chance near the end of the meeting, but change your mind. The next section is our consent agenda. Would entertain, well, first of all, is there any item on the consent agenda that the board, any board member would like to pull out separately? Hearing none, I would entertain a motion to consider the consent agenda.
So moved. Second.
Have a motion and second. Are there any discussion or questions on consent agenda items? Or Dan, anything you want to comment?
I have nothing.
We have a motion and second to accept the consent agenda. All in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Business transactions. The first item, 3.1, focus on learning. Washington Discovery Academy.
Mr. Hartley is going to introduce our guest tonight.
Oh,
Thanks. And it's my pleasure to have 4 kids with us, 4 students with us from 3 classes. Students, come on up. And they're from 3 of our 3 4th grade classrooms. We have Miss Abear, Mrs. Drivelvis, and Miss Gustafson. So, and I'm in the middle of this and shouldn't be. So, here, let's hang with you guys so they can all see it. Here we go. Good, comfy. Deep breaths. All right. So they're going to introduce themselves, and then we'll kind of cue the video, and then they'll provide you with some commentary throughout, and then they'll be happy to entertain any questions at the end. So, all right.
Hello, I'm Nikki Palma. I'm in Mrs. Aver's class. I'm William Kickson, and I'm in Mrs. Aver's class. I am Billy Sanchez, and I'm in Ms. Gustafson's class. My name is Hannah Faber, and I'm in Mrs. Drivelvis' class.
Mr. Johnson, if you don't mind.
Our first 4th grade project was designing lifeguard shirt prototypes. We're going to see some videos of the 4th graders building their lifeguard chair prototypes. Jennifer is explaining to her group what the lifeguard chair prototype is going to look like. She drew a picture and is showing her group the measurements. This is how each of our groups designed their lifeguard chairs. How we designed our idea, we were going to use our lifeguard chair by, we each drew a picture and we were going to decide. And one of my friends, her name is Noelia, she was in my group and she's been drawing since kindergarten. So we looked at hers and we decided hers because we could actually tell what it looked like. My group built our lifeguard chair prototypes by compromising. We had to take up my idea, but we still liked it. My group used a little piece of every design, like my round body, Marin's flat surface, and Angel's cup holder and shade. My group had many different design ideas, so we decided to put it all together. We used my base, Michael's columns to support it, Nadia's art texture in it, and Aaron's house light tip to keep lifeguard in it.
we designed the lifeguard chairs and built them, he tested it by putting a stuffed animal on it for 20 seconds or more. If it doesn't hold for 20 seconds, the group has to make a redesign and choose 2 people from a successful group to help them.
The constraints are that you only use the materials provided, which are note cards and tape. And we only had 30 minutes. The criteria is that the chair must be 35 centimeters tall, cards can be folded but not torn, the tape must be 5 centimeters or less, and the chair cannot be taped to the floor or other object.
My chair held for 25 seconds and held the first time.
My team's chair made it after the first try too. I like that our chair holding it for the first time and we got to keep this stuffed dog in it.
Our lifeguard chair did not work the first time, but it hung on by the tape all 20 seconds the second time.
What have we learned about teamwork?
Starring Nikki Palmer,
William Cooper, Billy Sanchez, Hannah Prager.
Yeah, so one final comment they wanted to make as far as what they liked the best about this particular project. Go ahead.
what I liked about my group is that if the conflict that we had, I liked how we could resolve that conflict that came our ways.
My favorite part was adding the special features. I liked how we worked together as a team and it became successful.
What I liked was working together with my group.
Questions for our students or teachers even?
Do you have some examples with you? Is that what I see?
Yes.
Why don't you guys bring them up to the table so they can see us?
Very nice. Well, every lifeguard I've ever seen twirls a whistle. Where's the
The
whistle?
redesign is 15 minutes.
We would have had them if we had enough cards.
Oh, okay. Good answer. Next project. I don't know if you guys are aware, but somewhere in our community, there's ideas, people coming together to consider, maybe how do we get a community pool in our, so if that comes together, you guys help design the life chairs for us?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was actually our entry dock as
Oh.
the pool that's being,
Yeah, okay.
$15,000.
15,000?
We're developing entrepreneurs.
Thank you very much for coming in.
with me, or at least didn't know what it was when I was in 4th grade, and they gave me wonderful explanations, so we're proud of it.
And we should probably mention that they also created them.
Oh, the movie, so yeah, I mean, start to finish.
Teachers, anything you want to add?
No, we just turned it over to them.
Okay.
I actually didn't see that until now, so.
Yeah, I haven't seen the video until now, so we're proud of you guys for your job.
Yeah, that's wonderful.
Good job. Good job. Thank you.
Mr. Hartley, could you introduce your teachers that are here tonight, just to make sure everybody...
Absolutely. Go ahead and stand, if you don't mind. We have Mrs. Abear on the end, and Mrs. Drivelbus in the middle, and then we have Ms. Gustafson here on the side. So appreciate your work as well.
And then
Yeah, they can go.
They don't have to stay. Yes, they want to stay, yeah.
you're welcome to stay for the rest of our meeting, but you're also welcome to go about your
Actually,
activities. Thank you.
It's not a down. We don't. We approve it, Yes, but it's out here. That doesn't mean you start to come faster. Second. Yeah.
Okay, moving on to item 3.2, consider Michiana Behavioral Healthcare Contract.
This is the same contract we sign every year with them. The only change is the dollar amounts they may owe us, which is always an estimate, until we get to the very end of the year, and then we do a reconciliation. And the only other item we changed was to do with federal law and the HIPAA Protection Act. And that's it. And so I'm asking you to approve it, and then we will forward to them for their signature, and then we get back.
Thank you. Get it on the table. I entertain a motion to consider the contract as presented. So
Second.
have motion and second. Any questions?
This is what we've done before.
Yes. Same thing.
and this is needed for the Title I Part D grant, so.
I'm sorry?
This is needed for the Title I Part D grant, so this is greatly appreciated.
Have motion and second. All those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Item 3.3, consider or ratify master contract.
Yes, Laura Crier's here, and so I would like to go through the contract just a little bit. This might have been record times. We scheduled negotiation sessions the last 2 hours, and I think we kept them to 2 hours. If you don't count the small talk at the end. And we had 3 sessions. And at the end of that, we reached agreements. The teachers ratified. And now I'm bringing that contract to you. This has to be ratified before the end of September by state law. Just a summary of the contract. Beginning teachers would receive a 4% raise. Teachers at the very top, the veteran teachers, would receive approximately a 2%. It is a fully funded compensation model, so by the new law, there has to be 2 parts to that, one being education, the other one being the evaluation, being either effective or highly effective on the evaluation. And so as we looked at how much money we got, that we're anticipating getting from the state, we are able to fund it fully at those dollar amounts. Included in that then would be, or extra that would be, there were about 10 extracurricular positions that we either created or we increased. The ones most interest, I think, were the ones for the robotics sponsors or coaches. We have a head coach and 2 assistants at the high school. We have one at the junior high and one at Riverside. And we'll have a robotics launching for the community here in the next couple of weeks. So we're excited to get that program off and running. And then we have a retirement incentive again. It's exactly what we've done the last several years. We also, because there's so much professional development that's able to be done without taking a college class, there's no reason anymore to have a lane in there for master's degrees. However, there are some reasons for teachers to get advanced degrees or to get additional certifications. For instance, if you want to be a teacher who teaches a dual credit class, you have to have that master's degree. And if you want to, if we need somebody, say in science who can teach earth space science, but we want them to teach biology, they might have to go back to school to get a couple biology classes to be able to take biology. So in it, we put in a tuition reimbursement, or to be certified in those areas, you can take the praxis exam. And if you're well versed enough in that subject area that you can pass the praxis, then you can also be certified to teach that. So we have a tuition and or praxis reimbursement program for teachers. It has some limits in it, but it does allow teachers to be reimbursed for tuition if they have to take a class. Give you a couple of examples. Bob Garrity needed to be able to teach chemistry. He had chemistry on his license at one time, had let it lapse because he hadn't been teaching it, and so he took the praxis and was able to pick that up again. Gene Skirvin needed to teach some classes to be a vocationally licensed teacher. That way, for the classes that he teaches, we get additional dollars. So we're more than going to pay for what it costs us to reimburse Gene for his classes. And it is limited, and that amount comes from the Title II grant, which allows us to do that. And then finally, it is a 2-year contract with reopeners for Article 3, which is the compensation model. I've said this before, I'll say it again, it's a very professionally run negotiation session. We both have what's best. We want what's best for our kids, and in order to do that, we have to provide some things for our teachers. So, Laura, I'm not sure you're in charge of negotiations, but you run it. So I'd like to thank her for her efforts in that, because it certainly helps when we're able to be done with negotiations at this point, and we can concentrate the rest of the year on education. So I would recommend that we, the last thing is, we know that there's going to be a little bit of money left over when we're done, maybe $15,000, and they want me to have that. I just wanted to see your face. We're going to put it on the steps there. Now, those really aren't steps, but we're going to put it on the base, because that's the only way we'll ever increase that base, is by doing that with extra money. So we won't know how much money is left until we've got the scores now, but they're not official. When they're official, then we'll get the growth, and then once that we'll get the school grades, and once we get that, we'll be completely done, and we can finish last year teacher evaluations and determine who gets a raise and who doesn't. So, make a recommendation that you pass it.
Let's get it on the table. I'll entertain a motion to ratify the contract as presented.
So moved.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Questions? Comments?
I'd just like to commend the PDA and our administrative team for getting the master contract finalized and moving in a very positive direction. So,
Any comments, Laura?
No, just kind of echo what Mr. Tyree is saying, very
pleased with the tentative agreement that we have, which you're about to vote on. And our teachers, I know that they are very pleased to be getting a raise. It does help morale when it comes to salary, of course, having an increase there. But just the fact that we were able to get in there and discuss the issues in a very open manner and be able to look at both sides was very helpful.
Any other questions? Hearing none, and Lauren, thank you for all your efforts.
Yes.
Very much appreciated. We have a motion and a second. All in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Contract is ratified. Moving on to 3.4, consider naming the service center.
Yes, you've seen the change to the exterior. If you have some time when the meeting's over, I'd like to take you over and show you the interior. I think the exterior is nice, but what we've done to the interior is absolutely amazing. My recommendation is on the outside, there will be a canopy above the door, and on the outside, it would say IMESSC, which would stand for Itamco Manufacturing Education School Service Center. Then the sign out here that's been redone, there will be a flat panel TV screen on it, LCD screen on it. And on that, we will be able to list all of the organizations that have been involved in it. So we've got a group that's given us a great deal on an air compressor. And so their logo would go up there with thanks for giving us that. Ivy Tech is donating the teacher this year, so we would put their logo up on there for thanks for providing education in Plymouth Community Schools, that sort of thing. And so any other people that we get. Then on the inside, the new lab, which was the area where the buses used to be, that would be the Itamco Manufacturing Education area. And the reason that we want to call it that is Itamco's really been the driving force for this. They have contributed, will have contributed well over $100,000, and that doesn't include their time and their expertise and their effort that they've spent making this a first-class operation. The rest of the building will continue to be the school service center. We've looked at the signs. Mr. Schoaf has worked with the design on all of them. And so you walk in the front door and there will be a sign that will take you to each of the different areas. So the Itamco Manufacturing Education Center will be at the far north. Then there's the adult education and alternative school, supervised out-of-school suspension, and then the alternative school. And then on the other side, you'll have transportation, maintenance, security, and technology. And I think you'll be very pleased with it. So my recommendation is to call it the IMESSC at PHS.
Get it on the table. I'll entertain a motion to accept the naming recommendation as presented.
I'll move. Second.
Have motion and second. Questions or discussion?
Well, I'm very pleased to see the participation with the Itamco and our vocational program, and I'm just elated that we're able to expand our offerings for our vocational kids. This is a goal that we established some time ago, and it's now becoming a reality, and I'm very pleased and appreciate your contributions and the other business industries as well. And it's a big step.
I agree.
When you were making that description, what do you mean by transportation? What is he still doing?
Well, Rick Scott and Brenda Houston is still working there.
Oh, you mean the office?
Yeah, they have the office where they, they still do the bus routes from there.
Sure.
They still,
So it's the administration.
yeah, the administration.
I'll let you do that. Gary, any questions?
No, I just think it's nice that there are people within the community that keep continuing to give back to the community because they look at Plymouth as a viable community to continue to raise their kids, enjoy their families, and we've got a lot going on in the Plymouth Community School Corporation, and that's thanks to the people that reinvest into our educational system.
And historically, I don't take lightly putting somebody's name on our facilities, and I know that folks in ITAMCO didn't step up here in order to, but gosh, I hope we get our name on the canopy. I don't think that was their spirit. But I do think it's important to recognize that none of this would be happening without what ITAMCO did to step up here, and sincere appreciation for doing so. And I have no qualms with the naming, because I think it's totally appropriate given this program, this facility wouldn't be offered here, and it's important that we have that available, but we're for years struggling how we're going to make this happen. So to have a partner, the quality and the history of ITAMCO step up and do this is kind of a no-brainer this time in terms of the naming, so appreciate it very much. We have a motion and a second. All in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
I want to make sure.
I do want to see what the t-shirts look like, though, with all those layers on there.
Well, I'm sure Mr. Pinkerton can get them designed. Mark Neidig is here. Mark, can you stand up? And also Jerry Hollenbaugh, he's our vocational director. And two driving forces for this program. Appreciate everything.
You guys want to make any comments? Or?
I just want to say thanks to everybody here at Plymouth High School and on Jerry's group who put a lot of hours in, and I think Dave Schiff deserves a lion's share of that, specifically on the facility renovation. But you guys have a really top-notch group of people here, and it's been really fun to work with everybody. A lot of moving parts, and Bruce's team helped us with some stuff, and a lot of different people. But Jerry specifically and his team, they really helped drive this on the funding side of things as well, so he deserves a lot of credit as well.
Well, he's given credit, but I'm going to tell you, they stepped up to the plate here. And it's not just for them. You know, we have an advisory group, and it's made up of other people around this community, or the whole county, plus even Fulton County for industry. And they're going to benefit off of this too. So, I mean, it's not just ITAMCO that is looking at this for getting good help. And that we're creating good jobs. You know, this is a real win for our community. And we would have never been able to do it ourselves. It's just too expensive a program. That equipment is outrageous. So I appreciate what Plymouth Community Schools has done to that renovation. It's fabulous. We're proud of it. We like to show it off. So thank you.
Thank you for being here as well.
Hey, Tom.
Yes.
I just want to thank Mark and his family with what you've invested in that building. Not every student that graduates from Plymouth High School is going to go off to college, but they can learn a trade with what you've invested there. And I think that's just great. I mean, your family had enough of a vision to put something in place to help everybody. I think that's wonderful. Thank you.
Okay, we voted, right? Yep. Move on then to section 4, superintendent remarks.
Yes, under core values, commitment to students. Now that it's over again, we'd like to thank everybody, parents, students, anybody who volunteered to work in the Blueberry Festival parking lot. Special thanks to the high school and Riverside administrators who came out Friday night to patrol, thinking that with the Jake Owens concert there might be little shenanigans going on. And we had one car that was probably not acting appropriately on school property, but that was absolutely it. So thanks for all the help, especially on Friday night. Caring, there are about over 300 alternative bus routes And our transportation department does a great job of sorting all of this out and getting students where they need to be about 99% of the time. And they eventually get them where they're supposed to be. Sometimes it takes them a little extra time. But I think this year, I think it's 347, but I couldn't confirm that. Rick was already gone by the time I called him, but that's the highest number of alternative bus routes that we've ever had. It just keeps going up every year. High expectations. I think you read in the paper that our iRead scores were again in the district all well above the state average. Jefferson and Menominee ended up at 94.2%. Washington was 97.2%, and Webster was 98.5%. And let me explain that those percentages, and I believe the other ones from the other schools were from both the initial testing and then the retesting in the summer. Our initial testing, where scores were a little bit lower, but that's how many passed it by the time the summer testing was over. 4.4 team player, our boys tennis team, along with Bremen, will hold what's called the Smash Cancer Foundation fundraiser on tomorrow night. So big thanks to both Plymouth and Bremen. They're each going to wear a different color for the different types of cancer that they want to smash out. So it should be an interesting tennis match tomorrow night. Integrity, as I said before, negotiations went very well. Both teams acted with professionalism and had the best interest of getting a job done and getting a job done quickly and our students in mind. 4.6, enjoyment. Congratulate Sarah McKenzie for being inducted into the Indiana High School Forensics Association Coaching Hall of Fame Friday night in Indianapolis. Upcoming events, School Board Association, Superintendent Association Conference, September 22nd, 23rd, and 24th. We'll get some things out to you about what time we're leaving. It all depends if there's a Colts game that day or not and what time they're playing. We do have a dinner scheduled that evening. Next school board meeting will be October 1st at 7 o'clock. That's the night we will adopt the budget. And Wednesday, October 16th, 2013 is the fall School Board Association Region 11 meeting at Christo's. Dinner is at 6:30, programs at 7:30. You'll be receiving an invitation from Sandy. Please RSVP to her so we can make reservations. That's all I have.
Thanks. Any questions for you? Excuse me. Item 5, any other business? Audience, any questions on agenda items? Seeing none, entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second. Motion second, all in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
To adjourn.